So between the government and Telstra and the competition regulator, Peter, whose court is the ball in right now?
The ball's, at this point in time, is now in Telstra's court because, the government has said these reforms to the telecommunications regulation, this is what's going to happen. And look, the invitation to structurally separate is they've done that because at the end of the day, that's what the government wants. The government has to get their hands, or NBN has to get their hands on parts of or all of Telstra's copper network, the ducts, the exchanges, what have you, to be able to lay this fibre. And there's not enough room in a lot of these ducts and what have you to duplicate, in other words, run fibre beside copper, so that they'll want access to those, and that's why they've asked them to separate. Say, look, we need that. And Telstra knows that. Everyone knows that Telstra has to be a part of this. And so the ball at this point in time is in Telstra's court. What they do with it and how long they play with it before they hit it back over the other side of the net is a moot point. This could take quite a while. Suggestions now that this is not going to happen, structural separation, so to speak, until 2018. Well, there's a lot of water to go under the bridge between now and then, and a lot of money that Telstra can earn for itself and its shareholders between now and then.
Peter, you've watched Telstra for years now, and the latest development in this saga has left many investors wondering, why didn't the government do this before they started selling off Telstra? Is there any sensible way to answer that question?
Not really, because everyone had the opportunity to do what Stephen Conroy's done. And I suspect, that they put it in the too hard basket, because this whole thing came up in the Keating era and then passed through the Howard era and now we're into the Rudd era, and now they've decided to do it. Look, there are all sorts of, opinions as to is Telstra the bad boy, and should they be giving access at a cheaper price to all these competitors and what have you. I mean, Telstra has invested many, many billions of dollars in this network over time, and I would argue that they should be rewarded for that initiative. They had to maintain that. Why should then everyone have a free kick and get access to something that someone else has built with shareholders' funds at a non-commercial price? I mean, if you took it to the nth degree, why can't a small retailer go to the ACCC and say, hey, I want access to Woolworths supply chain? Or a person that wants to start up a local bank, go to a common bank. I want access to your branch network. I mean, what is the difference? Philosophically, what is the difference?
What do you think will happen to Telstra?
There's plenty for everyone. I mean, as I said before, this is a very, very competitive segment. There's more than 100 ISPs out there, internet service providers. There's not 100 banks out there. Not 100 supermarkets out there. Mobile phones. Look at the competition in mobile phones. And Telstra has a marginally larger share than the number two, which is Optus. But you don't see Telstra out there discounting the way Optus and Vodafone are. They're not giving you $300 worth of free calls. They're being very responsible in their activity and pricing and what have you. And if people and I would argue that they've probably got the best network, and so that's why people gravitate to it. Look what's happened to Next G. The 3G network. I mean, they got the first mover advantage there. Look what's happening in the internet space. Last year, to June of 2009, there was very little change in the number of fixed broadband subscribers. That's wholesale and retail. It's about 4.2 million. In mobile broadband, in other words, the data card, subscribers doubled, almost 100%, to just over 1 million. In mobile, the data part of mobile is now 33% of all mobile service revenue. And data is driving that. And have a guess what part of data? Wireless broadband. It was up 70% in terms of revenue. Total mobile services revenue was up 31%. So that's where the future is. People are voting with their feet. People don't want to be stuck in their homes. Hey, I've got 100 megabits of download speed. We'll all be vegetables and couch potatoes and weigh about 200 kilos, for goodness sake. They want mobility, and they're voting with their feet. And the government's going to say, hang on, NBN's coming to your door. But I can tell you what will happen, that no one will be at home. It's already at their door now, and there's only 4 million people, 4 million subscribers, 2.2 million of which are retail, and the other 1.6, 1.7 million are wholesale. So people have had plenty of time to sign up to broadband, and there's been no movement over the last year in numbers, but there has been in mobile. And it's the mobility factor that Telstra has captured through that network, that next year network, and they're comfortably ahead of the pack. And they're going to stay ahead of the pack.
Peter, thank you for joining us today.
Okay, Vicky, thank you.